Today we're looking at Connor Bedard cards from the crazy Series 2 release week. So what cards are going to make our list? There's definitely a lot of Bedard cards you can pull, and we've already got some pretty crazy prices. And if you're curious about what some of Bedard's CHL patch autos and Canada Junior cards sold for, I made some other videos a few months ago that you should check out. But for now, let's look at some of the crazy Series 2 prices sold in the past week. Coming in at number 10 and selling on eBay for just under 1,700 Canadian. We start out with what's definitely going to be one of the most memorable hockey cards of all time. Connor Bedard's Young Guns rookie card from 2023-24 Upper Deck Series 2. Can prices remain this high? Probably not. But this one sold in auction on March 9th with 23 bids. But let's take a closer look at this sale, because even with all the hype from release week, this one kind of stands out as a very high sale. So the big question is, does anything look fishy? So I wanted to dig a little deeper. Well, here are a few things that caught my eye. At a quick glance, everything looks legit. Decent looking listing with multiple photos from a seller with 100% positive feedback, with a seller account that's done a bunch of deals, and from an auction that ends with 23 bids. But when we drill down a bit and look at the bid history, what's a little odd to me is that this very popular card has only 3 bidders. So only 3 total people bidding. So what's going on here? So who's bidding? So we'll call the first one bidder 139. And 139 is the feedback number, and this essentially shows which accounts are more active. Next, there's the account with 59, so 59 total feedback. And finally, the only other person bidding is the one with a score of 2. And these are the ones that are always fishy to me. So maybe it's a new account, maybe it's someone just getting on eBay recently, maybe the Bedard hype got them back into collecting. Yep, that's entirely possible. It's also possible that it's a dummy account, and this account's bidding to get the price higher, with no intention of actually buying. And when we look closer at the bid frequency, that might be what's happening here. So account 139, as we're calling it, starts off the bidding at $9.99 on March 9th, and after that we don't see any more bids from account 139. That's the only one. And then the rest of the way, accounts 59 and 2 duke it out, and they take the bidding from 1,000 Canadian to 1,684. With the new account, number 2, winning the auction. So that definitely looks a little bit weird. And another thing that stands out is that this was a very short auction window, which started on March 8th at 12:38 Pacific time, and that ends basically a day later, March 9th at 12:14 p.m. And other than the initial bid by account 139, it's all just a frenzy of back and forth bidding between the 2 accounts from 12:05 p.m. till basically only 10 minutes later when the auction ends. So if you have any thoughts, drop a comment. I'm curious to know what people think about this. But interesting stuff for sure. I encourage everyone to keep an eye out for this type of stuff, especially if you're buying in auctions. I've got another video in the works that's going to be taking a closer look at one of the high-priced Bedard sales. One of our regular viewers pointed out some potential funny business. So we'll take a look at that in one of my next videos. Okay, now back to the show. Coming in at number 9 and selling on eBay for 1,800 Canadian. I wanted to switch things up a bit and take a quick break from Series 2 stuff because this sale is pretty epic. Because we have this beauty from 2023 O-Pee-Chee, and it's Bedard's marquee rookie. This one's in a green rainbow foil. This one has some pretty sweet shine on it. But what makes this special is it's numbered 27 out of 33. And pretty nice centering on this one too. This sold on February 14th with 39 bids. Coming in at number 8 and selling on eBay for just under 2,000 Canadian. We're back with Series 2, and I thought this was a pretty crazy sale. We have a pre-sale listing for just a regular Connor Bedard Young Guns. No actual pic of the Young Guns in the listing because there were no pics yet. So we'll just add a pic of this Young Guns to help tell the story. So someone listed this in mid-February, and then someone purchased this on February 23rd. Pretty crazy to think that people are buying his Young Guns in a pre-sale. And this sold on February 23rd at the fixed price, a little less than 2 weeks before the release of Series 2. But I'm kind of wondering if this was a legit sale for $2,000, or maybe this is just a way to set the market at a certain price. Because if you're someone that's planning to open a bunch of cases and then pull all the Bedard Young Guns and then sell them all in the first week, that was the plan. A $2,000 sale would look quite nice as a starting comp. Or maybe this just shows if you have a desirable card with a ton of demand, and then you just set an extra high price that somebody actually might buy it, even if it's a pre-sale. I found another listing that was selling pre-sales for almost 1,500 Canadian, and it looks like they sold 4 of them right around the same time in mid-February. So who knows? Pretty crazy stuff. I'll make another video sometime soon that compares some of these early crazy prices to what they eventually settle in at. So keep a lookout for that. Coming in at number 7 and selling on eBay for 2,000 Canadian. Here's a 3-card lot of Bedard stuff from Series 2. We have his Young Guns as well as his Program of Excellence canvas. Odds for these hits are 1 in 96 packs and 1 in 964 for black and white versions. And the 3rd card is the Population Count 1000. And this sold on March 8th with best offer accepted. Coming in at number 6 and selling on eBay also for 2,000 Canadian. We have the highest sale for a Pop Count card so far. This one is the Pop Count 50. And I like the look of these cards, with the simple graded card look combined with the acetate design. And I also like the limited numbers. I still think it's a little gimmicky, but I still like it. And I just like it gives you more chances at a fun hit. This Pop Count card is supposedly limited to 50 cards. But let's see if we see multiple Pop Count 1s like last production run. I hope not. This one sold on March 7th at the fixed price. Coming in at number 5 and selling on eBay for 23.35 Canadian. We have the sale of a complete set of Series 2. Looks like it's for the entire Series 2 base set plus 50 Young Guns, and that includes the Bedard Young Guns. So I'm not a set collector, but if I was and I was buying this, I'd be worried about the condition of the Bedard Young Guns. There weren't any other picks in this listing. But maybe some set collectors are less interested in condition. They're not really interested in selling or flipping. I also figured most set collectors would enjoy putting these things together piece by piece, ripping some packs and slowly collecting your set. If I was collecting, I'd be doing it that way. Hey, but if you do collect sets, drop a comment on how you collect and build sets. Is this something you'd buy? Anyways, leave a comment. This sold on March 6th with 67 bids, so lots of action on this one. Coming in at number 4 and selling on eBay for 23.60 Canadian. We have another lot. This one's a 5-card lot with 2 Bedard regular Young Guns, plus an oversized Young Guns, a glossy O-Pee-Chee Marquee Rookie, and a Bedard UD Portraits base card. And these 5 sold on March 6th with best offer accepted. Coming in at number 3 and selling on eBay for just under 2,600 Canadian. So this one's not from Series 2 either, but it's definitely a nice one. It's Bedard Star Rookie Autograph with a sticker auto. This is one of the inserts in the Star Rookie box set. The set has 25 base cards plus 1 insert parallel. Looks like most sets come with a blue parallel, but you could also pull a numbered one as well. There's a green parallel numbered to 5, and apparently this base auto is 1 in 20, so it seems like there's got to be a lot of these printed. Then there's also a black 1 of 1 auto. I wonder what that would sell for. And currently you can pick up a box for just under 70 Canadian. And this base auto sold on March 7th at the fixed price. Coming in at number 2 and selling on eBay for 32.99 Canadian. We have Bedard Young Guns in a silver outburst. These ones are pretty nice. I like the silver design to this. And this is one I know for sure has dropped in price and selling for less than 3,000. So I'll definitely be making an update comparison video. These silver outburst Young Guns are found 1 in 60 packs, and is sold on March 6th at the fixed price. Coming in at number 1, no, it's not the $1 million gold outburst Young Guns, that hasn't been pulled yet. So making number 1 on today's list and selling on eBay for 5,355 Canadian. It's a Bedard Clear Cut Young Guns, another beauty pull. Odds on pulling a Clear Cut Young Guns are 1 in 144 hobby packs. And this sold on March 9th with best offer accepted. So with the hype of Series 2, I was curious to see what the Bedard SP card from Series 1 is selling for these days. Are prices still holding? So let's compare the high sales over the past few months versus recent sales for March. Let's start with the PSA 8, which sold for 466 Canadian on March 27th in an eBay auction with 27 bids. And definitely a drop in price from the peak from this November 28th sale of 1,500 Canadian. That's a drop in price of more than $1,000. Then we have this PSA 9 that sold for 880 Canadian on March 7th with 47 bids. But again, a pretty big drop in price compared to the sale of this PSA 9 from January of 2,050 Canadian, which is a difference of close to $1,200. Next up, we got another big change here. A recent ungraded card sold for around 825 Canadian, selling on March 11th in auction with 19 bids. But in December, the hype was real for Bedard Series 1 Easter eggs, because this raw version sold for more than 6,700 Canadian on December 16th with 87 bids. And that's a gigantic drop with a difference of more than 5,800 Canadian. And that December sale for 6,700 seems like a bit of a unicorn, but the next highest raw sale came on January 10th for 2,125 Canadian. And so the difference between these sales is 1,300, a bit less, but still quite significant. And then what about a PSA 10 of the Bedard SP? Well, this one sold for 6,075 Canadian on March 11th with 27 bids. Seems like a pretty nice price if you're the seller, and maybe also if you're the buyer, because once again, definitely a big drop from the PSA 10 that sold on January 16th. Big congrats to the seller on the sale of the PSA 10, which sold for more than 16,000 Canadian. And the difference between the two sales is more than $10,000. Aye, crazy stuff. So what do we think is going to happen with the Series 2 prices over the next few months? Are we going to see price drops like this? You think any cards are going to spike in price? Well, drop a comment if you have any thoughts or opinions. All right, a few final thoughts. Is it going to be possible for Connor Bedard to live up to all this hype? And this Bedard hype reminds me of the madness that was surrounding the '89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. Star Rookie. I think this is the card that's been graded the most by PSA. And to this day, I've still never owned one or pulled one from a pack, but hopefully one day soon. But from a hockey perspective, the '88 Brett Hull-O-Peachy rookie was another big one from back then. But this really reminds me of the insanity around when Eric Lindros was breaking into the league, and how many cards were produced during those few years. So drop a comment if you remember some of these. The Canada's Captain's card from 1990 Upper Deck High Series, a World Junior card with Stephen Rice and Chris Draper. Or his Team Canada card from 1991 Upper Deck. And making a pretty big splash playing in the 1991 Canada Cup alongside Gretzky, Messier, Coffey, McInnes, and of course Dirk Graham. What about his 1990 Score Future Superstar card? Both the American and Canadian versions. And if you remember, Score actually signed an exclusive deal with Lindros to be the face of the brand. And then it really started getting out of control with 7th Inning Sketch, because we were hunting for his OHL cards. I remember spending $5 of my hard-earned lawn mowing and car washing money on a single pack, hoping to pull the Warren 91 card or any of the other ones in that set. And I also remember getting skunked. No Lindros card in there. But I did pull a Mike Ricci Peterborough Pete's card. It's funny how these memories still stick with us. But it's gonna be fun to look back at this current time and reminisce about the crazy Bedard hobby hype. Though I think kids these days are gonna need to own a landscaping business to be able to afford a pack nowadays. Single pack in a card shop is probably $35. Pretty crazy. What kid is gonna be able to afford that? But hey, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.